Hello and welcome to the Crafters Tavern. I'm the DMG, and joining us later will be DM Scotty. He's just running a little bit late at the moment, and we've already started the Skype call-ins. So this is a live Skype call-in show. It is generally on the fourth Friday of every single month. But next month, the fourth Friday is the 25th, so we may schedule that for the 18th. So I'm just going to confer with Scotty on that, and tentatively it's the 18th. So already joining us is Black Magic Craft. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's great to be here.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. And thank you to everyone who's already in the chat. As you can see, they're all on the bog roll over here. And I pointed in the correct direction this time. So, Jeremy, what got you into this?
Into crafting or the channel or all of it? Where do we start?
All of the above.
Where do we start? To be honest, I'm super new to D&D and crafting. It all kind of happened really recently. About a year ago, a few friends wanted to start playing. I decided to DM, and anyone who knows me knows I don't do anything in half measures, so I had to start building everything. And yeah, it's been kind of a snowball effect since then.
And it's a bit of a wild ride, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Basically, when we decided to start playing, I thought, oh, maybe I'll build a few things. And then I went on YouTube, searched some stuff, found you and Scotty, and yeah, there goes all the little spare time that I had left in my life. Gone.
Spare time. What do you need that for?
Yeah, I decided to get into this hobby right after having a new baby. I don't know what I was thinking. And then after that, I decided, well, I should probably start a channel because, you know what? There's so much time in the day.
Anyway. Yeah, no, I do all my videos late at night.
Yeah, that's usually me, yeah.
It's only time. So in the chat was Mel the Terrain Tutor. I don't know if he's still with us.
Hi, Mel.
If you are Mel, type hello. So I think Scotty's tracked in traffic or something like that.
Oh, no.
And so yeah, we will have him eventually. So you've got a few videos you must be bringing out soon.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I posted one today. I finished it last night, so I don't have a backlog like you guys do because I'm still so new. It's kind of flying by the seat of my pants, and let's try to make a video, film some stuff, edit it when I can, and upload it. And I still have no idea what I'm doing, so things probably take way longer than they should.
But it's looking good, so you should be proud of that.
Yeah, I mean, when I started, I decided that, you know, I wanted it to look good, be clear. I mean, I don't know anything about video, but I'm a long-time electronic musician, so editing on a computer and creating a finished product like that is not new to me. It's just learning the different tools of video versus audio, and yeah, so I just have to learn how to actually manage a channel and decide on what I'm going to make and plan out projects, because like I said, I started this for my own games, and yeah, right now it's make something for a game. Oh, I should have filmed that. Make it again. All right, I gotta learn the correct procedure here.
Well, what you can do is take photos, get into the rhythm of taking photos.
Yeah, that's what I did. I just recently built a an entrance to a dungeon that my players are gonna visit tomorrow, actually, and I posted that on the group, and everybody kind of loved it. I went, shoot, I should have made a video. Luckily, I did take a bunch of pictures throughout the build, so I can at least kind of show a bit of the process and talk about that. So that's probably next.
So for everyone watching, the Jeremy's channel is Black Magic Craft, and you started out with doing dungeon tiles with styrofoam.
Yeah, that was
cave type stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, that was the first thing. I mean, that's kind of how I started building, was with foam initially. It's funny, I don't use very much cardboard, probably because I have lots of that foam insulation available. I'm a contractor, so I hear you guys always talking about
Coming out of your ears.
seeing stuff like on the side of the road, a construction site. I mean, we throw it away by the truckload, so it's kind of always there. Whereas cardboard is something I'd have to actually actively try to hunt down. So yeah, foam is kind of my base material for everything.
Cool. Yeah, no, by the side of the road is standard for most of the community.
Yeah, I'd love to send you guys all some free scraps, but I don't think the shipping would be economical. It's light, but it's big, so.
Yeah, the problem we have here is because we don't have the cold winters that they have in America
Yeah.
or in the UK.
Well, actually, fun fact, where I'm from, I'm in a city called Winnipeg in Canada,
Mhm.
and we are literally the coldest city in the world with a population above 10,000 people. We are very cold. So insulation is abundant here.
Yeah. Well, here it costs like $100 a square meter
Oh my God.
because to
Yeah.
ship it over the ocean to get it to us is far
Yeah.
too costly.
For us, the 2-inch thick stuff, a 2-foot by 8-foot sheet is, I think, about $17. So
Yeah.
that's Canadian. So that's like $3 American. I don't know.
Yeah. It's always depressing when you see prices in America.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man. So we've been joined by quite a few people in the chat here. We got First Round Fireball. Hi, how's it going? Trenton Maloney, who's a mass commenter on the community. You need to call in so we can actually speak to you.
Yeah, I think.
And I think Mel was on here, but it's about around midnight, so I think he's dropped off. And Niels was on earlier from Holland, and he couldn't stay awake. Because it's the middle of the night for them. And yeah, so it's Thanksgiving in America. Do you guys do that in Canada?
No, we're long done. Our Thanksgiving's in October. So whenever I see
Okay.
all the Thanksgiving stuff, I get really confused and go, "What are you talking about? It's done. It's winter now. Thanksgiving's over."
Always so far behind.
Yeah.
Kevin Watts joins us again. Hi, Kevin. How are you? So I'm waiting for DM Scotty to arrive. He sent me a message to say he was running late.
Probably saw some foam by the side of the road and couldn't.
Most likely. He got all. I wanted to ask him about his, not his most recent, but the previous video, where he was getting so excited by what was on the video in the comment. He was just like, "Wow, this is amazing."
Which
And
one is
I
that?
thought he would. I'll have to have a look to see which one it is. But I was just thinking of that rainbow guy. Like, wow, that's the best rainbow. Oh man, I can't remember which one it was. Oh, it was that battering ram.
Oh, yeah, with the kits from the dollar store. Yeah.
Yeah,
He was really excited about the banding and the rust. And,
Yeah.
yeah, it was
Oh my
great.
god, the banding.
Yeah. But hey, that's what makes his videos so enticing. That's my bedtime ritual in bed is falling asleep to Scotty videos, So
Yeah. When I'm shooting my videos, it's like maybe 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I can't get that enthusiastic. All right. So if anyone wants to Skype in, the Skype name is the DMG Info, as you can see it down the bottom of the screen there. So you will have to add me as a contact first, so that I can add you, and then you Skype in, and I can add you to the group call. Alrighty, so we've got quite a few people watching at the moment. Whereabouts in the world is everybody? And of course, there is about a 1-minute delay. Actually, it's not really that bad, and it should be broadcasting in 1080. Which, this will be the second time. The first time that happened, which was on Scotty's channel, was purely by accident. I forgot to switch it down to 240, and because I'm on a new internet connection, it actually streamed in 1080. and I wasn't aware that I was capable of doing that. So all good. So if you're not seeing it in 1080 now, it will be in 1080 when the broadcast finishes. So the games you're playing, are you playing modules or are you
No.
making it up yourself?
So, because I like to make life really difficult, I decided to both learn the game, DMing, crafting, all while creating my own original campaign. Really crazy idea, but so far it's going really well. My players are not new; a lot of them are experienced, so I have some help in terms of, dealing with rules on the fly and looking things up. I don't have to deal with all that, and I can just do kind of the creative part of it. So yeah, right now I'm doing a complete homebrew.
And it's just the standard fantasy setting?
No, it's actually more of a dark fantasy. I don't know anyone that plays Magic the Gathering may remember a block set that came out a few years ago called Innistrad. It's kind of set in a gothic horror kind of setting, and my campaign's kind of influenced heavily by that. A lot of cultists, werewolves, vampires. Most of the population is human. Definitely not high fantasy.
So low magic.
Yeah, definitely. Like magic is a rare occurrence in my games, and if someone walks into a village, flaunting fireballs, it's going to raise some eyebrows for sure.
Yeah, you always. I had players who wanted to play evil characters, and one was a lich and one was a vampire. And of course, they roll into town as you would normally, and of course, the villagers just basically try to destroy them
Yeah.
straight away. It's like, 9 foot tall lich. It's not like you're not
Yeah.
going to be noticeable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I had one player who wanted to play as a dragonborn, and I kind of had to talk them out of it just because in this world, demons are the absolute, worst mythical thing. Like, there's a whole religion around this angel and this demon, and if a dragonborn walks in, that's going to be hell incarnate for your average villager, and they're going to be terrified, and it wouldn't make much of a good game. So I have 4 humans and 1 halfling in the party. So
Alrighty. I'm getting messages from Scotty. You'll hear the pings happening. He's on his way. So he'll join us when he gets in. Yeah, look, I started with one of the box modules, and I was only about 15 minutes into it, and I just started changing it as we went because I wasn't happy
Yeah.
with the way it was going.
Yeah,
That was
absolutely.
the last module I did.
Well, the big thing for me is that I wanted to let the group kind of craft the story as it, unfolded, and I didn't want to have to follow too much out of the book. And, I'm not, the whole story element is new to me, but the creative design kind of elements, that's what I wanted to do, was build a world, and that's why I got into the crafting, is I wanted to physically build a world. And so I felt like making something up gave me way more freedom. So, but I don't know if it was the smartest thing to do time-wise.
So so is most of your stuff sort of underground,
Well,
or do you do a lot of towns and things as well?
you know what? Like, we're actually, I mean, it's so fresh. We are, tomorrow will be maybe our 6th or 7th session with this campaign.
Okay.
We do longer, like, sessions. So, basically, it started out in a small village where all my players are from. All of a sudden, a bunch of kids went missing, kidnapped by cultists, typical story, and they set out to rescue them. They went through this kind of hellish swamp, fighting zombies and geists and stuff, and then found cultists hiding out in some catacombs underneath the chapel. Went back, and there was one session all in their own village, and then they got sent off on their way, and the quickest way was through the mountain. So they spent two sessions in this mine, and that's where those cave tiles that I made were born, was for those games.
Great. And you enjoying it?
Absolutely, 100%. I wish I had more time to do it, but career, kid, other hobbies makes it pretty tough. But I absolutely enjoy every minute of it. Even when I, go, oh no, we have a session in 4 days. I haven't made anything. Okay, I got to whip up some quick terrain, and you make it, and you're like, man, I did it. I got it. We're good. I still got 2 days left. I should probably build a whole bunch of other stuff, and the cycle repeats because it's addictive, right? It's totally addictive.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah. The board.
When I first saw DM Scotty's channel, I was like, oh my god, that's so simple. I'm going to do this.
Yeah. And that's
and
the
like
thing.
a week
so
later,
easy.
I'd started the channel.
Yeah, yeah. It's almost like this weird virus, this crafting virus. The videos go out and they infect someone, and then they make videos and they infect someone, and it's like we're in our own little crafting campaign. So.
Yeah, and it's the multi-creational sort of thing that happens where you're not just writing a story, you're also playing a game and you're also crafting the terrain. So it basically covers the entire range of creativity.
Yeah, and sometimes the terrain writes the story, and sometimes vice versa. One of my players said to me the other night, do you ever feel like the cart behind the horse? Is the game secondary to making this cool stuff, or are you making this cool stuff for the game? I'm not really sure. It depends on the day, but it's definitely both.
Yeah, I find that it's we actually started developing new rules because of the terrain. We just didn't like playing D&D on the terrain anymore. We wanted rules that would allow the combat to flow a lot better.
Yeah, exactly. And especially gridless too, right? Sometimes you have to bend space and time on the board to fit what you've built.
So Lee is joining us.
Hello.
Hi, Lee.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, and yourself?
Hanging in there, man. Hanging in there.
I'm glad to see that your GoFundMe is doing well.
It's getting there.
It's getting there.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice that I was able to convince the power company to lower the minimum that they would take, Because at first they were like, nope, you're going to give us the whole amount or we're shutting you off. And so now I convinced them to take half, roughly, and make payment arrangements for the rest. So hopefully I can get some more commissions in and get a little bit of help there. My mom's going to see what she can do. So, we'll see what happens with it.
So there's a GoFundMe address. What is the GoFundMe address?
Oh, shoot.
Good question.
Yeah, good question. I'll have to, I'll pop that up into, if I can do it on my phone.
In the chat without the HTTP and the www. Just remove that and put it in the chat. We're being joined also by Flank Bonus, who is first round Fireball.
Hey, folks.
Hey, your microphone is screeching a lot.
No, sorry.
Have you got video? Can you turn the video on?
I don't know what's going on.
Sounds better now.
Sounds less like you're trying to put a fork through a blender.
But will it blend?
Oh, I don't know.
If I can get some video going, we'll find out.
Yes.
No,
Live
sorry.
on air. So how's the channel going anyway while you're trying to sort that out?
All right. I don't know if we're going to get something up this week or not. Usually Sunday we shoot for something, but with Thanksgiving and all that, everybody's a little get out.
How many are there that are involved in the channel?
In our gaming group, there's 6, but in the making content for the channel, it's mostly me, a guy named D, and Gen Con Jesus.
Oh, okay. And do they have their own channels besides that one, or is it all just that channel?
No, nope, it's all just that channel. We kind of work as a collective on there. We should probably do something to make that more known and differentiate whose videos are whose.
Yeah, I knew there were other people. I just didn't know exactly how many. That's all.
Yeah, it's telling me that video is not an option. I wonder if I just have like too many things open. I'll try something here.
Maybe your webcam's being used.
Yeah.
So we're still waiting on DM Scotty. So Lee,
Yeah.
have you got that? Have you posted up that link yet?
Yeah, I'm trying. It keeps telling me that the it failed to post, but
Oh, okay. Let me see if I can do that for you.
all right. Yeah, because I mean I know it's it's GoFundMe.com/7VBXVGBG.
So if you go and follow that address, you'll find out what that's about. And yes, help out our friend in the community.
And if you need something built and you just don't have time to do it yourself, if you've checked out my stuff at all, you know what I'm capable of. I've got a drawbridge and portcullis going right now. Just finished up and waiting for the final stuff to dry on a modular lake that I made for a guy.
Cool.
And gathering all the materials for another sewer system that I'll put up for sale at some point. But yeah, I got donated a whole ton of I think it's like 3/4 inch of that pink foam insulation, and then I've got a big thing of the full inch insulation that I've been playing with. So looking for something built.
Yeah.
Since I don't have an active gaming group at all. All I do, literally, I simply craft. That's it. So.
Is it because you're in a small community, or
just it with the group I was with? They work schedules changed, and they stopped gaming. The gaming store that I would go to and actually play at, they shut down because the guy got deployed, and so the gamers that I had, they just kind of vanished.
Yep.
And with being kind of stuck in the middle of a suburb of Vancouver here, there's not really a whole lot of people.
Yep.
You know, the crafting is the easy part. Getting a group that, can commit to long-term game that's the biggest challenge.
It's
absolutely
very difficult. I mean, the best group I had was back in high school, and I mean, it was just because I saw them every day, 5 days a week, and the guy's house was like 3 blocks from high school. So we'd just go over there after school on a Friday, four large pizzas, a bunch of Mountain Dew, and we'd game until Sunday night. So
we used to finish school on a Friday, go to a guy's house, and game to Sunday afternoon.
Yep.
Straight through.
Oh yeah.
Don't stop.
Of course, I mean, I know I probably did some damage to my body because I used to get the Jolt Cola. I don't know if you guys remember Jolt Cola at all.
Yeah, we had that.
And we'd drink about, a quarter of it, and then we would crush up a couple of no-dos and pour it into the soda because it's just pure caffeine. And so we would jack the caffeine way up high, and we would quite literally game, about 48 hours straight without sleeping.
Yeah, and those are the days, then I end up going to school on a Monday morning, just completely destroyed.
Yeah.
I don't remember a lot of Mondays, so.
We fuel a
Now
lot of
trying to
our
get-
current sessions with Jack Daniels.
Jack Daniels.
Now it's just a
Yeah,
big
it's-
accomplishment if you can get 4 adults in a room for 2 hours at the same time on a Sunday afternoon without someone having something come up to break those plans.
Yeah. I think the
Yeah,
last... Go ahead.
You got to basically like nut it down as it's something. This is
Is
what
the
it
day.
is, and nothing else is going to happen.
Are your
We're
kids in the
going,
hospital? No, then you're here.
years of a weekly game.
Yeah, I tried to run a fortnightly game, but the problem is that the players are 20, 30 kilometers away, and one of them is now living in a completely different city.
Oh, wow.
So we are now trying to start a Tuesday game via the internet. So we'll continue to use terrain and all that sort of thing, but we're going to have to do it like this via webcams and Skype and all that sort of thing. So we'll have to see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a
challenging.
game I usually do on Thursdays via Roll20, but we've been having issues with Roll20 not cooperating. Mostly on my end, because it'll be my first time running a game, and all the stuff that I downloaded on my computer for it, it won't upload to Roll20. Some kind of memory error or something. So I'm thinking of, I'm actually thinking if I can keep my buddy's camera that he's letting me borrow, then setting up the Skype, setting up on my craft table all the terrain that I want to use, and Skyping it in, and just straight up use Roll20 for the dice rollers.
What you can also do is, if you're building a lot of terrain, is take photos of it, like I did with Under the Tavern,
Right.
and use that in Roll20.
Okay. Yeah, because my problem has been getting the stuff to show up on Roll20, so that it's actually usable.
Yeah.
So, but I thought also, it'd be kind of cool if I had stuff set up on the table. I could set the camera down low, so if they're looking down an alleyway, then it literally gives them their line of sight. They see what they see, regardless of what I've got set up. So it was a thought. It's something we're going to try out next Thursday, I think. So,
All right.
but it's the whole world I've created. I basically did a mishmash of Fallout, Shadowrun, straight up D&D, and Mad Max. Only take away all the actual technology stuff.
Scotty's about to join us. And so is Stronghold Crafter Kev.
Sweet.
Everyone is joining us all at once.
We have a lot to be thankful for.
What's up, Kev?
Hello. Hey, Scotty. Can't hear you.
I'm actually going to bow out and see if I can figure out this camera deal. I'll be back.
Alrighty. Cheers. Can't hear you. Jeremy, can you hear him?
I can only hear you right now.
Okay.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can hear you, yes.
Okay.
Kev, are you there? I think...
Hey, there I see Scotty.
Sorry, I'm working on a separate laptop here as well.
Oh. Yay, got the camera figured out.
Alright.
No, it sucks. In the same week, the camera attached to my laptop went out and my webcam went out. So it's like, I finally got it figured out. Of course, it's looking at my mess of a table. Oh my god. I didn't realize how horrible that would look from that angle.
Alright, I'm gonna if you talk amongst yourselves, I'm trying to sort out this problem.
Alright. So, Jeremy, the video you just did, the treasure piles,
The one I finished last night? Yeah.
That's a really cool way to make those things. I like how you did it to where it kind of it wasn't so separate from like the terrain. You actually made the edges match your terrain.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of them done where guys physically just make the treasure pile, which is cool because you could place it on anything, right?
Right.
But I like the idea of having a little base, because I'm using those cave tiles for a large amount of my gameplay. So I figure I might as well make it match that. And realistically, if I need some for another one, it's a really easy build. So I can, I can make more to match other terrain. But my players have never found a pile of treasure, so it's not a big issue. Like that was something someone asked, to me to do my take on, and I figured I would. But yeah, they've never found one. So
Nice. Yeah, I'm actually, because I was looking at it, because I'm actually going to be making for a friend of mine for Christmas. He sent me a really cool dragon, and let's see, I can actually show it off here real quick. But he sent me this bad boy, and I'm going to rebase it, basically surrounded with treasure, and then I'm going to send it out to him.
Yeah.
So, and what's cool is I know that he doesn't come on here at all, so I can brag about it all I want, knowing he's not going to see it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but it's so I've been looking at a lot of different ways to make the treasure piles. So,
I will say the nail polish thing works really well because it dries in like a minute. If you got to rush something, that's an awesome way to finish it off.
Okay. Yeah, that's my biggest.
Scotty, can you hear us?
Hello, can everybody hear me?
Oh,
Hey!
Hey! I exist!
Sorry to
I
interrupt you,
exist! I was floating out in the ether.
Were you on Star Wars?
Yeah. Da, 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 da.
So with us we have Lee and Jeremy. Jeremy is Black Magic Craft.
Yeah, great stuff, man. Hey there.
Thanks.
Good to see you in person.
Hey, it's good to see you live. I always get to see these videos after they've already been posted because I'm usually not home at this time. So this is really cool to be able to be part of it.
We're glad to have you.
Everyone complains about these being so late. For me, they're pretty early. I'm still on my way home from work when you guys are talking usually.
Oh wow!
Well, Mel, the train tutor, is whinging about the time there.
Yeah, it's only 6:30 where I am, so.
His is probably 12:30 at night.
Yeah.
What's funny is, like right now it's only 4:30, but this is just with the way my sleep schedule's been lately. This is pretty much middle of the night for me, so I'm usually up way late.
Oh wow! I'm up pretty late too because I have a second. I work at a TV station, so I have a second. I'm in a master control, so I have like a late shift. So I usually don't get home till like 1:20. So of course it's hard to go to bed right when you get home. So I usually do stuff. Sometimes that's why I upload the videos late. Sometimes like somebody like, oh, you uploaded a video at 3 o'clock in the morning or something.
Which I love. I mean, because for years I worked graveyard.
I'll put it together
and so
upload it. So
when your videos pop up that late, I'm usually like just up raring to go, hit my craft table. I'm like, oh, cool, new video.
I found so far
awesome.
uploading in the.
That's awesome.
I found uploading in the middle of the night's the best way to do it because it takes so long on my internet and it bogs everything else down. So I just start uploading and go to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do too. Because my wife works at home, so I don't like to hog her internet, with uploading during the day. Sometimes if I have a short vid, I'll pop it in there because it's quick. But if it's a longer vid, I try to do it over the overnight thing.
If your editing facility is capable of encoding as Flash video, it uploads very quickly, and it takes no time to process. Because it's in the native format used by YouTube.
Right. I wish I could do that. I've tried to convert my videos, and they look crappy, and I don't know what I'm doing something wrong. So basically, I just do the full resolution thing. I know I wish I could do Flash, but for some reason my editor doesn't just output it in Flash. So, yeah.
Well, the last video I put out was 58 megabytes.
Mm-hmm.
So it uploaded in 8-9 minutes.
Oh wow!
Gotcha.
Wow.
and the processing time was 10 seconds.
So, what were you guys talking about before my for my tardiness? I'm so sorry, guys. What were you guys talking about before I interrupted?
We're talking
everything?
about how you were distracted by the side of the road because you found a bunch of cardboard in the ditch, and that's why you're late.
I lied.
No, I think that's a great. Get the mythology going. I think it's great.
Well,
canon
you are
now.
a master controller.
Yeah. You know, I had some people ask on. This might be an interesting subject to talk about. I had some people ask, especially since we have you here, Jeremy. You're really new to the video thing, right? I mean, have you done other videos?
Absolutely. No, we talked about it briefly, but I come from a background of music production, so editing audio. Like I've been doing that for 15 years. Video, never knew. I decided to make a channel, grabbed my iPhone, shot a video on a tripod I built, edited it in iMovie, and uploaded it. So it's totally new to me, but considering it's a phone and a free edit, I think it turned out okay.
Yeah, you've done a great job. Yeah, I've had some people ask lately, like kind of like how you do videos, like kind of the workflow, I think, kind of thing. And it might be interesting to talk about a little bit about this. What do you think, DMG?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's a massive subject.
Yeah, I didn't want to go into the whole subject. I mean, yeah, right. I mean, yeah, you could just spend 3 hours talking about the subject, but I could
do an entire channel on it.
Kind of my workflow, and maybe that'll help people. I don't know.
I'll say that as a new person, because like you guys have been doing it long enough that you have your habits, but I'm fresh to this and learning, so I got a bit of perspective there. Is that I'm trying to learn early when I'm crafting, like for myself, for my games, to keep now the channel in mind, whether that be taping or photographing as I'm when you get stuck in that moment of creativity, stop, think, hey, I might want to film this. Or as you're doing it, think about how you will simplify the build for a quick tutorial video afterwards, rather than all of a sudden having this thing and going, I should have filmed it.
That's a great point, because when you get caught up in the creativity, right? I mean, you want to just you're just kind of barreling ahead and you want to do this craft, but you have to, if you're filming it, you really, I'm sure the other, DMG and other people, you gotta really think about the video too. So you gotta do it in steps, and you gotta that kind of thing. So yeah, it's definitely a different process than just kind of building. And there's sometimes I take photos, and sometimes I'll take most of the time I'll take a video, but sometimes I'll just take photos. So, but yeah, that can be kind of daunting when you're starting to kind of because you kind of got to break it down for your shoot. You got to think about. Yeah. You can't just have a big mess on the table and then I'm gonna
exactly.
You get excited about the I don't know about you guys, but I get excited about the crafting and I'm wanting to throw stuff together and I gotta hold on, wait a minute, I gotta do this in steps because I'm gonna and I don't want to do this and then not film it because then I could have filmed it and shown it on the channel. So so there is a certain mindset you have to get into, especially when it's exciting. You get excited with crafting. I'm sure most people do, and you kind of have to slow it down. And
that's when you make your coolest projects, is when you're in the heat of the moment, right? So it's
right,
when you're
doing
those, you think,
right.
Okay, wait, like I posted on the Facebook board that entrance I made with the wolf carved into the stone.
Oh, I love
I made
that.
I made that in a fury, like it was just ideas were going, and I didn't know what I was doing as I was building it. It just kind of happened.
They're doing a
but
Craftsgiving Tavern right now. That's why I think someone was trying to Skype
we
me.
can hear you. Kev, you got to turn your
That's
video
what
on.
it's all about.
Yeah, you'll have to hit. There's the little camera switch. Turn on and off video. If you do are you on the computer?
Kev, are you on your computer?
If you do your mouse to the bottom of the screen, the little thing will pop up where it has the icons that you can hit the video turn on and off, the audio on and off, and all that.
I don't know if you can
Hello?
hear us. Hi, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
You got to turn your video
Hey,
on.
Somebody Skyped me on my phone.
Oh, did I Skype you on your phone?
Oh, gotcha.
Well,
Okay, I see. Okay.
My computer's down right now, so it must
Oh,
have
okay.
received a Skype call on my phone,
Okay.
dudes.
All right, sorry about that.
Oh, no
Because
problem.
when you called me, I just called back.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Let me handle something, and I'll call you back in a few. Okay?
Okay. Alrighty.
Thanks,
All right, sounds
guys.
great.
Cheers.
Yeah, one thing that I've had for me that's been difficult is I'm very much a fly by the seat of your pants crafter. I don't necessarily always set all my pieces out knowing what I'm going to build. Like with the drawbridge, it was very much grabbing as I go and just go, 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 go. And so it's like I've gotten to this point, it actually works. Drawbridge goes up and down. This thing slides up and down. But it's like by the time I got to this point, I was like, oh man, I had my buddy loaned me his camera. I should have put this on tape. And
Right.
and
But now you don't want to build a whole other one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like I've got all,
Yeah.
I know that I've got the parts to make it better, to make a better version of it. But now it's like I'm at this point where it's like I just want to finish this one up so I can get all the mechanics of actually cranking the drawbridge up and all that kind of stuff done first. And that's where it's almost like I trap myself in it, because it's
Right.
I've gotten so far that I don't want to just give up on it to start over to videotape it. But do I really want to go through it all again? Even though this only took me 2 hours, 2.5 hours maybe total. But like with the lake that I did, that I've been posting some pictures of, a lot of it was drying time because. Like I took, Scotty, from you, like when you did the pools, how you did the different colors gradiating to dark in the center.
Yeah.
And then then I had to wait for that to dry. And then with the resin that I laid down, it's just tinting the resin a little bit and doing multiple layers. So that, even though it took me 4 or 5 days to finish up, actual crafting time was only like an hour.
Right.
It's just, so.
Oh yeah. That's the great thing about
really
videos too. You can show that condensed time, to people, so they don't have to,
magically dry.
Yep.
the magical speed.
Well, my process is a little bit different. I don't think about the steps. I basically just film everything.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I edit the steps.
Oh, right.
So when you see mine, and it's sort of like, okay, this, then this, then this, then this.
Oh, and then I
they
tried
don't
that.
necessarily happen in that order.
Right.
I've just put them in that
Sometimes
order.
mine don't happen in the right order either, because something's drying or something, and
Yeah.
maybe if I'm working on multiple things of the same thing, I may have something drying while I'm painting up another version of it, or whatever. But
If you watch some of my earlier videos, you'll see bits and pieces of past and previous or past and future projects sort of sitting on the edges.
right.
And sort of like clues as to what's coming and like references to what's been before.
Right.
But yeah, look, the power of it is the editing.
Yes.
And only showing what's important and cut out everything that people don't need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now-
that's
now,
one.
do-
If it takes 15 hours to dry,
Right.
you
right.
don't
All of a
need
sudden
to
it's
see
magically
15
dry.
hours.
So DMG, when you do it, do you just run the camera the whole time, or do you stop between like steps?
Well, no. The only time I stop is when I stop crafting, or when the camera gets to 30 minutes, which is its maximum recording time,
Oh, okay.
and then I start it again.
Okay.
But yeah, I will shoot probably 7 or 8 crafts at once,
Uh-huh.
and I'll start building one thing, and then it's finished and needs to be black bombed, and I put that aside and I start building the next thing.
Right.
And so I stop the camera after the first one and start it for the next one, so that when I'm editing, they're in logical files, they're in separate files, so I don't have to search through to find things.
That's what I do too. Yeah.
So if I'm waiting for glue to dry, I'll set it apart and do the next one, filming that, and then go back to the other one.
Okay.
And then keep every single episode in a folder with the videos that are meant for it. So, that's just, okay, well, this is the painting, and this is the glue drying, and this is the whatever. All into the one folder for that episode. So, it's kind of slightly pre-editing, so that you've got everything ready to go.
Organization really helps, yeah.
It's if you want to put out a lot of content quickly, organization is extremely important.
Yeah, I've been moving more and more towards organization, as you get more and more stuff and more material. Yeah, definitely.
Well, I mean, it's like your early videos, the first half of your videos.
Right.
You used to speak while crafting.
Oh, yeah.
And the problem with that is you can't condense the time because everything you're saying is included in the video.
Exactly, because I would speak over the craft, right?
That's right.
So
when you separate it out and say, okay, this is only the visual, and I'll record the audio once I've finished editing the video, then again you can condense the time down really to whatever you like.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference. You're right, huge difference.
So some of my crafts can be 45 minutes long, and the video ends up being 8 minutes.
Right.
And I don't speak for 45 minutes. I only speak for 8. So the time it takes me to record the dialogue is 8 minutes.
Right.
Which is an easy... And if I make a mistake in that, I'll just redo the dialogue again.
Right. Kind of what I do, too, is like when I edit a project, I'll do what I call a pre-assembly. So what I'll do is I'll take all the clips from crafting the project, literally like crafting the project, and I'll build a clip, and then I will, resolve the clip or whatever. I'll render it. I'll render the clip.
Yep.
And then I'll pop the whole clip into my editor, because I've found that because of the speeding up and slowing down sometimes of footage, sometimes glitches the program. Yeah. So if I'm recording audio over it, it'll sometimes, like when I'm watching, because I'll watch the footage in the editor and I'll speak over it, like DMG said. But if it's not a full clip, sometimes that speeding up and slowing down of the footage will cause it to glitch a bit, and it'll like maybe stop at a certain point and then all of a sudden pop ahead, and I didn't see what happened. So I found that I'll do a pre-assembly of the craft part of the clip, then I'll render that, and then I'll just pop the whole render into, and then just I'll take the audio track off of it. I'll just pop the whole render into the editor. Now you probably lose a little bit of resolution with that. But I resolve it pretty high, so it's not. I haven't found it to be a huge problem or anything. And I'm not doing it multiple times. I'm just doing it twice, because I'm doing it basically once and then popping it in and then doing it and then rendering it again. So I find that helps me as far as my computer not chugging or keeping up with the footage. So I don't know if that's helpful to anybody.
Yeah, it does depend on the technology that you have. Mm-hmm. As to how much time it's going to take for things to render and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I've got a custom-built editing machine that
I've
been doing this a very long time.
I don't.
So I built my computer knowing that it needs 8 cores and 32 gig of RAM and 15 terabytes of hard drive space.
Right.
Because I've got everything I've ever filmed on my computer.
Right.
So, and that's because I know that those sort of glitches occur because of the processing gap that happens, not having enough memory.
Right. The RAM is probably a big part of that,
the speed at which it's transferring.
Is RAM a big part of that?
RAM, especially when you're doing live unrendered.
Uh-huh.
So if you're just playing it back,
right,
and you don't want those glitches,
mm-hmm,
then that RAM comes into play there.
Right. So that's
more RAM is always better.
So this is kind of I think I have like 16 gigs, so it's not horrible, but I mean it's not 32. But so that's kind of my workaround for it. You know, if other people have had this problem, this could be like your workaround for it, and that's what I kind of do. It kind of helps me get everything organized, so I don't have to, when I do the pre-assembly, I'm kind of thinking about pacing when I'm doing it, but I don't have to think about like, oh, the head and the tail and all that stuff. I just worry about just putting the clips in a coherent, you know, cohesive order that people will understand. So.
And everything that saves time makes the process better.
Yes, yes.
So little things like installing a USB 3 card into my computer so that the data transfers from the camera or the card 5 times faster.
Oh, wow.
So if it normally took half an hour, it now takes 6 minutes.
Right.
So
that's awesome.
I can get the process finished much faster.
And I only have
it's the
1
same
terabyte
with-
on my computer, so I have to keep you know, offloading the videos and footage off my computer onto, you know, well, it's good to have a backup anyway because you don't want to lose your stuff. But
That's right.
yeah, kind of. So I you know, I have to keep loading into the backup because, you know, it's like, yeah, I got to have room for other stuff on my computer too. So.
See, Earl T. Gray has joined us in the chat.
Oh, sweet.
Oh,
Nathan,
yay!
how are you?
Nathan!
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 So, Jeremy, do you use a phone or a webcam or video camera? What do you use?
Okay, so what's funny is that, I'll see if I can show you here. Like I said, I'm a musician. So right now I'm in my recording studio, okay, which is a pretty good elaborate space and computer setup for recording music. I have nothing for video. So I record everything on my iPhone, and then I put it on my cheap laptop rather than my very expensive Mac Pro Tower, because I don't have any video editing software. The laptop has cheap iMovie for free. The Tower, although it's a way more powerful computer, something you guys, I don't know if it would relate to video, is very powerful, you know, custom-built tower for audio editing that is still running Mac OS 10.4, because with in the audio world, once you get all your stuff running, sometimes you just freeze that computer and you don't want to update operating systems because you have all these big plugins and programs that may not work that you may not want to update. So basically that computer's frozen in time as a perfectly streamlined functioning system for doing audio. But it means that if I want to now add video editing software to it, well, now I got to look for a program that's 4 years old and maybe runs on. So it was easier just to go, I got a new laptop that I keep up to date. That's just my, you know, my Facebook machine for, you know, whatever. And it's got iMovie for now. It works for making a few videos. It's fine, but it is really cumbersome and slow, and being used to working on high-end audio editing software, working on this is just super frustrating. And the way I've been doing it is, you know, I record my video, I edit it all in iMovie, then I export that, transfer it to the real computer, load the video in my audio editor, and do my voiceover and add the music. Then I bounce that audio, send it back over onto the laptop, put that back in the video, and render it. So it's a process that's working right now for a guy who just started a channel and has a couple videos. Moving forward, that process is going to kill me, so I got to start thinking about some better options for sure.
Right.
Yeah, and the more you get into it, the more you realize how certain things are going to handicap you.
Exactly. I can already see it already going, this part of the process is just so inefficient. And not just inefficient, but because I'm editing the video and then rendering and then doing the voiceover on top of rendered video and then putting it back. Sometimes, you know, if you have a part of you gluing something and you've sped it up to what you think is a good time, and then you're doing the voiceover, and all of a sudden you're not trying to really talk really fast because you actually wanted to, maybe you had something more you wanted to say. So I'm not editing the video and the audio in the same place at the same time. So I'm not always thinking on the fly of doing the voiceover of, oh, maybe I'll extend this a little bit longer so I can talk a little bit more or a little bit less, I then have to move it to a different machine, re-edit it, and it's being used to working on audio in a setup that's, you know, fluid and works perfect. Now trying to do this in a really kind of, you know, do it yourself simple, like here's the free program that came with your computer. It's been a little frustrating, that's for sure.
Well, people who use Windows Movie Maker, I have extreme respect for, because I could
Yes.
never use that shit.
Yeah.
Yes, I've used it. Yeah, I do have extreme respect for it, yes.
So I
If
basically
you can build a
decided,
channel using that,
yeah.
it's a win.
So for right now, I mean, what I'm doing is kind of working, and I kind of made a commitment of, let's see if, you know, if the channel works, if people are watching the videos and I keep going, then okay, maybe I'll commit and, you know, think about upgrading some stuff and getting a proper video editor for the other computer. And also the other problem I'm having is that I can record the voiceover dialogue in good quality on a nice microphone, but the stuff I'm actually doing in the workshop, like just the intro videos, it's just recorded off the phone audio, and I've got thousands of dollars worth of microphones, but I don't have the little thing that allows me to plug one of them into an iPhone. So if the channel takes off, those are the things that, you know, maybe I think about getting.
What about recording the audio separately?
I've thought about that, but then it's, you know, setting up a whole rig in the shop, which, you know, pulling it out of the studio. I guess I could do, but really the answer is just getting a, you know, an iRig so that I can take one of my many microphones and just plug it right into the phone. I mean, it'd be enough for, you know, introduction, just dialogue kind of stuff like that. So.
Yeah, the equipment, you can spend thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
The key thing.
It shoots up pretty fast. It shoots up pretty fast.
The problem for me is that this is already adding a new hobby and thing on top of like a 15-year music hobby. I got a studio full of expensive equipment that is not really usable for video, right? So now it's like, now do I add another thing? You know, start buying video equipment? Oh, we have a visitor.
Right. I thought I heard somebody.
It's my 11-month-old daughter coming to say hi. She's asking why I haven't come home. So.
Oh.
Come here.
My daughter's all grown and long gone from the nest.
The
tell you
master
this one-
controller nest.
Yeah, I have yet to master the art of the voiceover with the different softwares I've been trying out. So, like on some of my videos, you'll see like I'll stop what I'm doing, I'll talk about what's coming up on the video, and then it speeds up a whole lot with music over it. So,
Oh, right,
hi.
right.
and it seems to be working okay for me now. Oh, how cute! You said 11 months?
11 months.
Oh, mine are
So
12 and 13
all the-
years old. So.
All the crafting and videos are made in the brief moments where she decides to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what I love is the fact that my kids are old enough now that they're getting into their own crafting. My youngest,
awesome, too.
he
Awesome.
he has an iPad from school, and he uses it to because he loves to sing. So he'll do videos of him singing and all that stuff. He's in choir, and so that's his craft is putting together his own little music videos. And my oldest, he is kind of all over the map. I mean, he'll draw, he'll write, he'll create videos, and now he wants to learn how to play role-playing games so that he can start developing his own stuff to run his own games. So he'll go to the library and he'll check out all the role-playing game books that are there and ask me questions about all the monsters and the settings and all that stuff, getting an idea together for his own world.
Awesome.
And so he's actually one that helped me create the world that I've been playtesting. So hopefully it'll work out really well.
That also
Oh, yeah.
touches on another aspect of video making. The joy from actually teaching people how to do things.
Yeah.
And the
That's a great
reward
point.
that when people actually respond to that and actually build the stuff that you've done, you don't get a better feeling than that.
Yeah. I was like, one thing I keep getting feedback on is one of the first videos I did. It was the Demon Forge,
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
I made the one that I made in the video. I actually sent out to Mike from Sleepy Hollow, and he messaged me the other day saying that he's had multiple people wanting to buy it off of him, and so he's basically sent them my information to get a hold of
Oh,
me.
that's cool.
And
Yeah.
so then they're like, "Oh, I see I can build it myself. Thanks, bye." So, but
There is that, yeah.
I'd love to build it and sell it to them, because I do want to, because I'm actually getting to the point now where I'm making a little bit of money at it, and it's nice. My wife really likes it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's also kind of what got us in the predicament we're in right now, is because she's like, "Oh, you're making money. Just keep going. It'll get better, blah, blah," and then hiding stuff from me. But, it's really cool to have someone say that my videos were good enough for them to build it themselves. And that's some of the highest praise you can get.
Yeah.
Even though the audio on those videos completely sucked. So.
And it's always when it comes to selling thing, you run into the fact of like, yes, you can show people how it's made and then they can go make it themselves, but some people just don't want to.
Yep.
They prefer to buy it from you.
Yeah.
And I do get people who approach me who want me to build tiles for them. But, for me to build cardboard tiles and post it out to them would cost more than Dwarven Forge.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Australia.
There's no way I could justify it.
Yeah, I
You
know.
know what?
I once, speaking of the postage to Australia, I remember I sold a piece of music equipment to a guy in Australia. It was a keyboard, and the shipping on it was, I think, $640 or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was an expensive piece of equipment, so it was worth it. But I said to him, I'm like, maybe I should just buy a plane ticket and bring it and go on holiday, like for that price. That's crazy.
Wow.
Right.
Well,
That's
I've been
crazy.
researching a Kickstarter that I'll probably be running next year. And part of it is the postage. And I'm
Right.
thinking, well, a significant number of people would be in America. So what I would do is build that into the price. And, when it gets to a certain point, it's cheaper for me to fly over there and just put it into the American mail system than it is for me to post it from Australia.
Right,
It's the same.
right.
It's the same as with music when we're used to tour and we'd get merchandise printed. So if we were going to go do a few shows in the States, rather than having everything shipped to me and me sending it out, we would have it drop shipped to some random bar in the States because it was 10% of the price to ship it to the States than it was to me, even though I can get in my car and drive to the American border in about 25 minutes. So, somehow crossing that invisible line makes everything cost 10 times more to send through the mail. It's crazy.
Right,
Yep.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's because within America, there's only one carrier.
Right.
So you're only paying one carrier. But the moment you cross an international border, you have different
Yeah.
carriers. They're different companies. Even if it's all FedEx, they're actually two separate companies within two separate countries. So each company
Yeah.
has to make its money.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
I have-
And that's
yeah.
where it gets expensive.
The problem
got
with the
one guy
Canadian
in,
postal
Go ahead.
I was just saying the problem with the Canadian postal system is that it's like a crown corporation, right? It's owned by the government, and there's no competition, right? So we only have the one option. They can charge whatever they want. So
Oh.
But built into that price is the cost on the other side.
true, but it's expensive even to mail things within our own country. Sometimes, I've sent CDs,
Just go
from
home.
here to
and
Montreal,
there's
and it's
that
cost
Skype
$12.
call I'm getting on.
Wow, jeez.
But
CDs?
they
Yeah,
nice big sign. Yeah, that's what he said because I messaged him to see if he could pick up tobacco in tubes.
Lee, we can hear you, just in case.
Okay.
Yeah, look, you can go on eBay and you can buy things for $1 with free international shipping
Right,
from
right,
Hong Kong.
right.
And those guys still make 45 cents profit because the way the Hong Kong mailing system works,
Yeah.
you can buy like 20 kilos of postage, and then each time you
Oh.
send a parcel, it deducts it off your total.
Yeah.
Oh.
you buy like a bulk price.
And so
Yeah.
you can just send
Yeah,
tons and
bunch.
tons of stuff based
That's
on weight.
interesting.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, call me when you get off the clock.
And so that's how you can get those 99
I'm connecting
cents
to Skype,
free
so-
international shipping.
Wow. Wow.
I've
I
always
wondered
wondered
about
how
that.
works. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me check.
And there's no way to compete because in Australia it would cost me $8. So immediately I'm $8 more expensive.
Right. Right.
Plus, I'm assuming
So-
that when you order stuff in Australia, it's probably similar to Canada, where you get hit pretty hard with importing and duty. Is it as bad there as it is here?
No, if it's under $1,500, there's no duties.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Well, there's no tax. So anything under 1,500, there's no tax. Or it might actually be 1,200.
Yeah, here it's a
So-
crapshoot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, where are you at, Jeremy?
Where am I?
Or-
I'm
yeah,
in
where are you located?
Winnipeg, Manitoba. It's like if I drive south for an hour, I end up in North Dakota. If that gives you
Okay.
some perspective.
I've got
Yeah.
a
So
friend of mine up there. She said if she drives south for 15 minutes, she hits Detroit. In that
Okay,
area.
yeah.
So
yeah. See. Yeah, that's
I would-
really far for me still. Actually,
yeah.
that's
But like
she's probably
when
in
I was trying
Ontario.
to mail her stuff, because I got this really cool bag of these little skull beads for like $3, and to mail it to her was like $15, and it would have. But she was like, I can go get a post office box just south of the border, and then all I've got to do is drive for 15, 20 minutes to pick up something and save you, $12.
Yeah.
So
You know
Right.
what? Here, there's actually something really weird that's happened because of this system. Right, like literally on the border on the American side, there's this little town called Pembina, and it is a town that only exists to house the 5 or 6 businesses that what they do is for Canadians ordering something from the States, if they don't ship
Right.
outside of the States, they're little warehouses where you give them their address, they ship the parcel there, then I drive over the border, collect it, give them, it's $5 a parcel. Some of them it's $3 a parcel. You collect your parcel and you leave. And there's actually a town that literally all that's there is 5 of these little businesses and and a gas station. Like it.
oh wow.
And you can see the border. Like you can actually see the border from the
Wow,
town.
that's funny.
It started with one woman doing it out of her garage. She had this idea, and it was on good faith sort of system where you would go in, the garage was unlocked, there'd be all these parcels. We're Canadian, we just go get our own parcel and walk away. And then now it turned into this big thing with competitors and it's created a weird little micro economy actually.
It's actually pretty cool, though.
Yeah, that's
There's
weird.
actually a thing I saw on
Yeah.
Facebook. I tagged actually my friend Jessica in it, who lives up there, and the title was "Completely Insane Canadian Road Rage" or something like that. And it showed this guy, like you can see, he's got a dash cam following behind this car, and this car's like just slowly going through this intersection. No horns honking or anything. You see the guy get out with something in his hand. It turns out it's a snow brush. And he brushes off the guy's turn signal, so you can see his turn signal, and goes back to his truck. And that was the end of the video.
Sounds about right.
And I was just like, "Oh, that's funny," because here you get shot. So
Right. So, Jeremy, what system do you play? Do you play 5e or Pathfinder or some other?
5e, and you weren't here yet, but I was saying that not only am I new to the crafting and the video thing, but I'm new to D&D and role playing in general. Like my game of choice for years was Magic the Gathering. That was my thing. It became almost too much like a job. Like it's too competitive. When you get into it, you can get really serious. And I kind of needed a break from that, and a friend suggested, "Hey, why don't we play D&D?" And so we started with 5e. Played a few games with some modules and stuff, and then it was like almost instantly, okay, I'm creating a world, I'm creating a campaign, I'm creating terrain, let's do this. And yeah, and the rest is history. So
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I mean, 5e is a pretty great system, so good place to start.
I have the books, I just haven't played it yet.
Yeah, I'm running it for several groups, and it's just, it definitely has the D&D flavor, and it has enough, old stuff and enough new stuff. I think a great kind of soup of the combination of stuff just really makes it a nice system. And everything's
It kind of takes the best from all the previous.
Yeah, and and you can tell that all the playtesting they did really made a difference. Yeah, and I really like how everything is not codified in the book. Like it's not like you have to, if you got to do this, you got to do this. If you do this, you got to do this. It's really up to the GM, tell you just to roll a dex check, or not even roll a check, or not everything. Like in Pathfinder, everything has a rule, and it's like so. Yeah. It's a lot of memorization. Nothing against Pathfinder players. It's just not my cup of tea. But
that's what one of my players, he said that's why we're doing gridless, right? And using really fluid rules, right? And he said he's a longtime Warhammer player. He's like, I don't want to sit down at your table and play a game of 40K where I'm measuring and all. I just want to sit and have fun and do some cool stuff. And that's kind of how we're approaching the game. And as a new player, I'll say that the system really lends it, like 5e really lends itself to that. There's lots of times where I think of a cool idea and I'm like, how does that work in the game? Like physically, the rules. And I look at it and it's like, it works however I want it to work. And if I want to commit to a specific rule, I can, or I just don't. And I say, this is how it's going to work. And that's it. So.
Right. Whatever feels right. That's what's good
exactly.
About it, whatever feels right.
And whatever lets the game continue to flow, right? Like I'd rather make up a rule that's incorrect that allows the game to keep moving forward rather than pausing and breaking everyone's kind of immersion just to figure out, no, it has to go. That's not how we're doing it.
I got to look up a rule. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to avoid that. So you're kind of an interesting case actually because you're really so this is the first time you've role played, right?
Yeah, with the exception of like years and years ago doing like a bit of like Vampire the Masquerade kind of stuff like that.
Right.
But this is my first real serious role playing tabletop kind of binge, and I'm doing it all at once. And so I could be a good case study on how a lot of this stuff works for a new player, right? Like.
Right, I think you're a great case study for being new to kind of a system, and also you almost immediately incorporated the crafting. You know what I'm saying?
Like 100%. Like I think we played maybe 3 games where my friend who wanted to start was DMing, and I instantly knew I'm like, I cannot play this game staring at a notepad. It's not going to work me. I'm just going to get bored. If we're going to do this, we have to go all out, and I want to see it, right? I mean, imagination's great, but my imagination doesn't work unless there's something tangible to reference, right? I found as a player that if I want to do some cool combat move, if I'm staring at a grid and I don't know what's around me, it's like I'm not triggered to think I want to climb up on this and then jump over here. But if there's even just a little bit of representation, it starts the wheels turning and you start to go. So I jumped right into crafting, and basically it was like, I think people play this with some kind of props. So how does that work? YouTube, boom, there's your channel, and this is really easy. Okay, I'm hooked, right? And it wasn't long before I made my first pieces of terrain before we had even committed to the group that I was DMing for. It was just like, it's really cool, and it
was
did
kinda
end
on
up
faith,
becoming
huh?
yeah, and it ended up becoming the first session kind of stuff to use. But yeah, so I will say that
Yeah, that's really cool.
Both your guys' channels are really good for new people, right? And not just new to crafting, but it's a big thing to be able to present how you do something, not just to a new crafter who has a big history of role playing, but to someone who's fresh on role playing and crafting and understanding like what you're doing, and kind of helps focus what's the important things to actually build, right? So it's
Right.
it worked really well. So
Yeah,
I
that's
try
great.
to focus on things that are actually going to be used
Right. Right.
generically.
Mhm.
People often ask me to make very specific things, and you know, I'm not as far ahead as Scotty is, where you can start to do very specific things.
Yeah, I only have 470 some videos.
I mean, on my main series, I just put out video 82. So
You think I'm obsessed or something?
Let's see. Tonight I think I'll be filming my sixth or seventh video total. So
And, I congratulate anybody who gets a video out there, because it is work. It
Absolutely.
really is work. And it takes a
It's
commitment
not
to
do.
do. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It might look easy, but yeah, it's not easy. And it's time and it's commitment and it's but when you love what you're doing,
Yep.
it's just
Well,
you can't
I
stop.
remember we talked about it.
Yeah.
We talked about it before. My first introduction to this stuff was I can't remember what video you were doing, but I was like, this video is only like 7.5 minutes long, and look what he built. I can do that. And like 6 hours later, I'm still editing and trying to figure his stuff out, and I'm like, yeah, I'll keep doing it.
how did that guy do that?
I'll ask questions later.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's something I really, really enjoy, because being someone who suffers from really severe ADHD, it forces me to focus. And
Right.
so it's
Right.
like,
That's
even
what I've
if
had
none of my
tell me.
stuff, even if none of my stuff gets used, other than let my kids play with it later, I know that I sat down and I was able to focus for however long it takes me to get it done. And I don't have to take any medication beyond my coffee. So
yeah, I definitely get that.
Right.
For me, it's anxiety, right? Like
Ah.
anxiety and stress, depression, whatever. When you get in the zone of just like focusing on making something, it's like that all disappears, right? And I mean, in my
Yep.
job, like I'm a contractor. I build beautiful houses for a living. It's nice to be able to sit down and build something fun without these big dollar figures attached to it and the stress and clients, just something just creative, right? Like if I want a door
Right,
here, there's a
right.
door here. I don't have to answer to anybody, right? Whereas in the real world, I got to, build what the clients want. I got to do it on a budget. I got to do it on blah, 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 and the pressure. Sitting and carving some foam for a couple hours is the best therapy you can buy, right?
yep.
And it's a
If you
cheap
want
hobby
a
too.
happy
Like,
little spike
realistically.
trap there, you can put a happy little spike trap. If you want a happy little
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
happy
if,
little butt
it's
altar,
like
you can have that.
Yeah.
if you got into computer games and you bought a new computer game every week, that here is going to cost you $75 a week.
Mhm.
That's worse than smoking.
Right, right.
Like,
Hey, I think I mentioned this in your interview you did, Scotty, the other day with the Craft Shaft or Craft Show. Like, that crafting
Uh-huh.
was what made me finally, after 15 years, able to quit smoking. I could
Yeah,
never quit.
that's so awesome. I'm so glad
and-
that,
and-
that.
Basically, maybe I started this crafting thing 2 or so weeks before I decided to quit, and it was the focus of the craft, that allowed me to not think about smoking. But more importantly, when you have any kind of addiction or habit, everything in your life triggers it and is associated to it. Crafting was a new thing that was not tied to any old habits of smoking. So I don't know, it worked. Like, I'm going to make a video about how to quit smoking, and it's going to be build some stuff out of styrofoam.
Yep.
And look at everything I have made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, look,
so-
it's very, very good for distracting the mind,
Yes.
for keeping you occupied on something other than what you shouldn't be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So, you know, if you would normally waste your time in front of the TV watching garbage reality television shows or something,
That's pretty much everything on TV
you
now.
do this, and at the end you've got something cool. You may have filmed a video, and you've actually done something productive. And in our case, we're earning ad revenue from it as well.
Right.
So,
Oh, that actually reminds me of a question. The YouTube Red thing that you mentioned. How
Oh, yeah?
how is that looking so far?
so people who don't know, YouTube Red is basically a subscription service where you pay YouTube a fee. I think it's $10 in the US. I don't think it's rolled out here yet. But you pay $10 and it gives you access to all the normal YouTube without any adverts of any kind. And you channel creators can actually create content that's exclusive to Red subscribers. So as a video content creator, obviously the first worry is, oh my god, they're taking away the adverts. I'm not going to earn any money.
Right.
But what they do is they give you a percentage of the total the person would have paid for the month. So if they pay $10 and they watch 100 videos, that's 10%. 1% of $10 is what your video earns.
Right.
And then YouTube takes their 45% and you earn 55 of that. So,
And I think everyone
in
should
some
take away,
instances
that
it can actually be
oh, I'm
more.
sorry. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so in some instances it can actually be more than what the ad revenue would have been. But it's still very early days, so it's very
Right.
difficult to ascertain where it will go.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting to see.
Right.
Okay.
And I think
So
everybody
funny.
should understand that DMG and I aren't getting rich off it. I'm saying we're not like living high on the hog off our YouTube. I mean, we get quite a few hits, but there are people that literally can live off their channel. There's no way we can live off our channel. I mean, there are people that literally live off their channel, so they get like millions of hits of video. I think my most videos have maybe 50,000 hits at the most. So. And that's those are the most. There's a few of those and between. So nowhere near the kind of money that the real YouTubers make. We're such a niche thing. So yeah, I don't want anybody to get the impression that we're rolling the dough or anything over this. Over YouTube revenue. So, but it is a nice little thing, and it does help offset the costs. Of doing this.
Yeah. Especially when it's something you have a passion for. You're doing it as a hobby. You're doing it, because you love to do it, and the fact that you might get a
rich, to get rich off of it.
Yeah.
No, if
the
you want to
fact that
make
do it
money,
because you
it's
love it.
Yeah.
like a lot of time it would be quicker and easier just to go work somewhere at your job to make the money. Like if that's what it was about, right?
Work extra hours at my job. Actually, I'd make more money, right? So
it's not, you're doing it because you want to, and it's the same as like for me as a musician. I always did it because not because I wanted to, because I had to. Because you have to do it. You got this need to do it, and when money starts flowing in, all it does is support that, that craft, right? And so. But anyways, I should probably go and eat some pizza with the family. It's been awesome talking to you guys, and
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, I'm out.
Hey, take care, man.
Cheers.
Nice meeting you. Nice to see you in person.
Yeah, awesome.
Cheers.
Okay, bye, guys.
Take care. Hey, Kevin, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can't see you, but we can hear you.
Okay.
So how
What
are
am
you
I
going?
doing wrong?
You need to click on the little camera. There should be 3 circles at the bottom. Sorry, 4 circles. And the one on the left is the camera to turn the video on and off.
Of course, on the
I'm
phone,
trying,
you
but
just-
nothing's going on here.
Okay.
Do you
Well,
see that?
we can just keep the audio.
yeah, you'll pop in when you.
So one thing I had somebody ask me the other day is the kind of resin that I use for the water effects. And I've tried the more expensive stuff that friends have used and gave me what remains, polyurethane and all that. The one I found out actually works the best. Here's my camera. Wow, it's
Cool.
backwards. It's mirrored. But it's an acrylic water kit actually out of the floral department at Walmart. And so it's for like when people are making vases of the silk flowers, they want it to look like it's got water. It's just a basic 2-part epoxy, 1-to-1, and it takes about 12 to 16 hours to dry. But the cool thing about it is if you mix just a little bit of paint in with it, it tints really easy.
Oh, that's cool. Does it hurt foam at all?
No, I've put it straight on foam. The only thing is, if there's a little gap anywhere in what you're building, it will find its way through. I have found that out the hard way.
That's good to know.
So everything,
tip.
every time I'm doing anything, like I did a little acid pit here. I don't know how well you can see the green. But the first time I did one of these, I had resin all over my table, and it took me 3 days to clean up. So everything I do now, I actually have an old cookie sheet that I pull out, set it in there, and then pour the resin.
That's good because it has a lip. Does the cookie sheet have a lip?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, but it's the whole kit. It makes like 8 ounces of resin if you use the whole thing all at once, and it was like $5.50. So
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
It helps that my wife works at Walmart and I get 10% off. So
that's cool.
That does help.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
But so yeah, just trying. Now that I've got a camera, my buddy has already told me, keep it until I get a replacement because he got a better one. So I'll be able to get it. Hopefully, what I want to do. For the next video is the lake that I made where I posted some pictures of it. I want to make a smaller version to show how I did it. And the one cool thing was he wanted it in these little 4x4 squares. Like this is one of the lakeside things. Just glued down some aquarium rock, painted it up, but the resin cuts really easy. I mean, it didn't take any more force than cutting through cardboard.
Oh wow!
So it's like a super hard gel, and after 24 hours, it's no longer even tacky. So you can cut it, slice it, and that way you can have your tiles that the water goes all the way to the edge.
Cool.
Now, Lee, where do you sell your stuff?
Mostly it's just on Facebook. Like Ernie has his group, Buy and Sell Terrain. There's an auction site that I'm part of. I tried doing Etsy, and it was really hard because you have to come up with some very specific keywords for them to search for just to find you.
Right.
Like when I first started looking through Etsy, it took me forever to find anyone selling terrain stuff. Simply because I didn't know the keywords that they were using.
Right.
They've since, they have broadened it out a little bit, made it a little bit simpler for you to use. But I still haven't set that up. So usually I'll just throw it up on Facebook and, say this is what I'd like to get out of it, and go from there.
Right.
What about eBay?
Yeah.
I've got a couple of steady customers that buy, little bits from me here and there, depending on what they're building. And it's usually people who use, since all of my stuff is I designed it specifically to be compatible with Dwarven Forge and stuff, as far as thickness goes. So if they're putting together all the Dwarven Forge stuff, but they don't have something specific, then I'll build it for them, knowing it's going to be compatible with what they've already got.
Right. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, so you're not reinventing the wheel.
Exactly.
Right.
Why would I need to? I don't want to make them a whole bunch of cobblestone flooring if they can just cast it. But if they need a cool fireplace and they don't have the molds or whatnot to do it, I can make it.
Yeah, and there's always things, if people are investing heavily in Dwarven Forge, they want to expand upon it.
Yep.
I mean, it's like, okay, now I've got this room, now I want to add more.
Yep.
So, it's very cool that it will be compatible with that.
Yeah, I mean, my wife says my bread and butter is the lazy gamer with a lot of money. And I haven't found that a whole lot out there. It's kind of like searching for a white whale. But I do have some friends who they use exclusively Dwarven Forge, and they've never crafted with foam or any of that kind of stuff. But the molds for what they want aren't available yet. So.
Right.
Yeah. I've got.
And look, honestly, some people just don't want to invest the time.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
yeah.
I can understand if you're working, 40, 50 hours at a full-time job and have family to take care of and all that kind of stuff, being able to sit at a crafting table for 2 or 3 hours at a shot is going to be difficult to do.
Right.
Whereas,
if you think about it, if you were to buy a PlayStation 4 and a whole bunch of games, you'd be dropping $1,000. And if you drop $1,000 on Dwarven Forge and your stuff you're selling, you're getting quite a bit of stuff.
Yeah.
Right. True.
And especially since my pricing is very flexible. I work on a sliding scale of what do they want versus what they can afford. And for the lake, I've had people tell me I could have charged $300-400 with the way it turned out, and I did less than $100. And just because that's what his budget was, and it was for me a learning experience. I got to do something I hadn't really done before, and which made it really cool.
But you also don't want to price yourself too cheap.
True.
Yeah, don't put yourself too cheap, right? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lee.
Oh no, I was gonna say, I just look at my actual crafting time is the way I do it. I don't count drying time or any of that junk because I'm working on other stuff.
Factor that in the crafting time, right?
Yep. Kev's got video, yay!
Yay! Hey guys.
So hey,
how's it going?
What are you working on?
Oh, all kinds of stuff. I'll narrow it down for you. I'm thinking about doing a new castle keep, and I'm saying that because I'm kind of getting a little bit too, I don't know, I wouldn't say burned out, but I'm just getting tired of doing dungeon stuff.
Right.
So
Heresy.
The gray kind
What's
of
my channel
draft
name?
It can be a little dull, yeah.
So those who don't know, this is Stronghold Crafter Kev.
The dreary dungeon can be a bit dull.
yes, I go back and forth. I go above ground and below ground.
That's right.
Yep.
And Jack is with me. Hi, folks.
Hey, Jack.
Hey there, Jackie.
It amazes me how many crafters have cats. I've got 6.
I think
so.
I think they're like easier to manage when it comes to terrain.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing I built for my son in order to find out if it was going to be durable enough for him to play with. I'd actually set it on the floor with cat treats in the middle, and if it withstood the cats, then he could play with it.
That's a good idea.
Cat tested and approved.
Yes. Well, dogs, they tend to bite stuff, and cats don't bother with that stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Dogs have masters, cats have staff.
Well
Very,
said.
very true. They remember when they
I was
used to
gonna
be
say-
worshipped.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't know if probably a lot of people have seen on my Facebook group, but I'm actually going to a convention next year. It's called Con of the Mountain. It's in Clifton Forge. It'll be late September to early October. So I'll be doing a couple workshops and probably a couple games. So I'm going to bring terrain. I'm going to Scotty it up. So if people want to come and meet me and hang out, I'd love to see everybody. Just a little teeny
I'll be
place.
there.
I'll start another.
It's be a blast.
I'll start
Try to
another
borrow some money.
GoFundMe for plane ticket.
Right. So yeah, it should be fun. This will be really the first, I've been invited to. So should be a good time.
Yeah, that's great. It's fantastic that the con community is starting to take notice of our little community ourselves.
Right, because I think the bigger ones, it's like they really don't care much. They just like,
Nah.
oh, if you want to run a game, we'll give you a free ticket or something. They're like kind of like that. They're not the smaller ones are kind of the more personable ones. The ones that want to, they're not. If you're not Will Wheaton, it's like the bigger ones. If you're not Will Wheaton, forget it. But it's like, the smaller ones are more open to us, I think, and it's going to be a blast. I'm gonna have a lot of fun. I know it. So.
That'd be cool.
Well, because they don't make money out of people like us.
Right. But they're putting me
Why
up in
would
a
we invite
hotel
people
and
who
all that
say you
stuff,
don't
so
buy
it's like-
anything?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's good to see the community growing and being more accepted and all that sort of thing.
Sure is, yeah.
Especially when we did that interview with the guy who did all the crafting for the PAX games.
Right.
That that's the sort of level that one would aspire to get to,
Right.
and he kind of fell into it accidentally.
Right. But I think our stuff, his stuff is cool, but our stuff is great to play on too. It's just as fun.
It's easier to
You
play
don't
on.
have to spend 6 months on one piece. Oh, here's a room. Okay, we're done. We can't play again for 6 months because I got to build another piece 6 months from now that you can play in. I mean, that's great, for those kind of high-profile games. But your own game, you can't do that.
No.
You can't spend that much time doing something. And
We lost Scotty.
you can make pretty spectacular, but most people
The sound went out.
we're turning into treasure. So yeah. So I respect those people, but there's a certain amount of you want to be able to play too. You don't want to just craft the whole time. I mean, maybe some people do. I don't know, but I want to play. So yeah, anyway, that's my 2 cents.
I've lost your video, Scotty, but it's on my end, not your end.
Oh, can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can still hear
Still
you.
up.
Okay.
I still see you.
So, yeah. So I think I think the stuff the community does is just fantastic, and I think that's why so many people have picked it up, because it's something that really about anybody can do. I mean, anybody can do this if you just get a few tools, a little bit of work. It really makes a huge difference in your game, from having like drawing on a map or whatever, to literally like there's a set. I think of it like a movie set. Like there's a set and your characters are in there, and I'm just as a DM, I'm just as enthralled with the set. Like, my attention is drawn into this little world, and I'm just as enthusiastic as the players about what's going on and what they're going to do in this playground, of the dungeon. So, yeah.
How are you going to make them suffer? The only
guys,
problem
with
with
online,
online gaming,
you can't
you can't
use
candy
to bribe
to bribe the DM.
Sorry,
Sorry, Kev.
Well, I just wanted to add that if you think about it with with movie sets, before they build the set, they usually build a mock-up of the set, to visualize how things are supposed to play out in a room, or if it's just several areas together, and they usually use stuff like foam core, which is really cheap, like we use,
Right.
and
right,
it saves a whole lot of time because then it's not just flat, it's got 3 dimensions to it.
Speaking
They can do all the
about
blocking
that.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
there's a
There's
rumor that there's a Roderick movie.
movie.
Scotty
Scotty
Oh, I'm sorry. What?
said there's a
said
rumor
that there's a Roderick movie.
Oh yeah. I was kind of asking the community today. I was like, would you guys like me to do some little Roderick skits? Just not really crafting skits, just skits of Roderick. I was thinking about doing a Roderick's Adventure Diaries, and just little funny dumb stories.
Should be a scene
And
by
a lot of
scene
people
by
were like,
scene.
Yeah. So I'll probably do some of those, in between all my 50 million other videos. And I've got so many freaking series going. It's like I don't know what I'm doing. But anyways, yeah.
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah, just
You
do
don't know
it
what the
scene
heck
by
I'm gonna
scene.
Put out next week. But it's like, yeah, I'll probably do some of those. Yeah, Roderick is just fun. I really do have fun doing those little Roderick skits, And so I think it'll be really a fun little diversion.
Apparently there's an echo happening.
Are you hearing an
Are
echo?
you hearing an echo?
I'm hearing an echo.
You're
Yeah.
you're kind of echoing for me, DMG. I don't know if people on air are hearing that.
I've just turned
Yeah.
my video off.
It looks like he's got 2 channels open.
Yes, that's what it is. Because I am on 2
okay.
Skype calls.
Oh, okay. It's like echo.
Yeah, because I muted the YouTube part.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm just looking.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, it's gone now, but I'm just saying. I was having an echo effect with having YouTube and Skype on. Then I muted it on YouTube. So you're fine now.
Yeah, because the YouTube is delayed, so you'll get this weird, delay.
Yeah, in order to have the 3 screens that you see on the broadcast, Scotty's video is on a laptop, which is streaming out of an HDMI into my main computer. And then all the callers who are in the same call are then on a separate screen here. So I'm combining everything into one.
Oh, okay.
But to achieve that, you'll see that my other Skype is involved. That's the one with the Get It Fixed logo.
Right.
So if you're wondering who that was, it's not the NSA, it's me.
Oh no, they're onto us.
Again.
Don't double click that.
Are we terrain terrorists? Blocking the system of expensive terrain.
We're terrorists.
Crashing the terrain economy. Are we?
Oh, Home Depot should be happy with me.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah, I bought some stuff from them, so they should be happy.
Oh yeah, with the pink or the blue stuff.
It was the white
Put
stuff
that in your log.
Oh right. Okay.
Yeah, I do get the
So
pink
many
stuff
choices.
too, but yeah.
Yeah. So many choices.
Yes.
Alrighty. So I think we've come to the end. It's been an hour and 45 minutes. So thank you to everyone who has joined us from all over the
Yes,
world.
thank you so much, guys.
Now, I haven't discussed it with Scotty yet, but the next Crafters Tavern would hit the 25th of December. So I was thinking we would schedule it for the 18th.
Yeah, we'll have to do
So-
that. Yeah.
All right. So tentatively,
family
the
will
next
disown
one
me.
is on the 18th of December. Not many
I'll
people
be
can
a
get that
crafting
day
widower.
off.
Yeah.
Yes, I think I would get killed by my family too.
Yeah, we probably wouldn't have
Um,
many people on watching either. So,
I'd just like to thank everyone who has already purchased dungeon cards from our website. It's a new enterprise of mine. And if you'd like to check that out, see my website, thedmg.info/store. And if you'd like to contribute to Scotty's channel, You can go to patreon.com/the DM's Craft. And some of the people who have joined us today: Black Magic Craft, Lee Eddings, First Round Fireball, and of course with us at the moment, Stronghold Crafter's Cave. Stronghold Crafter Cave, sorry.
It's cool.
So, everyone from all over the world, thank you very much for joining us. And Scotty, what should we do?
Go forth and craft!
No. Like button! Wrong channel.
Like
Oh, right.
I'm trying to put
right,
your
I'm
crap
sorry.
on my channel.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a good night.
Take care, everybody.
See ya.
Bye, guys.
Hey, take care, man.
Yep, good seeing you again.
Take care.